hip hop soul and crowd react.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. It is the long delayed, the often tried, never imitated, often duplicated Rob and Stu show here on the Pulse Sports Network. Like and subscribe,
Unfollow, like, subscribe.
Exactly. Do the whole deal. I don't know if that helps metrics. Folks, we apologize. Me and Rob shot 2 shows last week, neither of which aired because we're like Steve Jobs when it comes to
Thank God that Friday show.
Oh my God,
did not air because there was some horrific takes.
It was real bad for you. It was a real bad
scenes.
show for you.
Tough scenes.
Real tough scenes. We'll get into that, folks. A lot of stuff on the board for today. I guess, we got to talk baseball. We got draft. We got NCAA. We got ponies. Let's start with the unaired show. My bald head needs some covering. Roberto and I had a little wager, and I can't wait for you to buy that Michigan State hat. It's gonna be so beautiful.
God awful. We had a wager. We were arguing over the Miami-Connecticut game. I love the line just on the spread alone.
Wait.
I thought it was a Miami.
What'd you say?
There's no way they're going to cover. They're probably going to win outright.
I believe the words were, "You don't know betting.
We know that.
You're falling into the public trap.
You're a sucker.
You're a sucker." And what was the final score of that?
I had to. I was at a function. I was at a party last night. I had to turn.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I saw the function
awful.
You were at.
Awful. Yeah.
With the salt of the earth function.
Oh yeah. All the boys hanging out last night. We all got together for the Final Four, and then disaster. The power goes out at my house right after that San Diego State win. We had to shuffle over to my buddy Lewis's house. I mean, you get Broncos in their late 30s, like with 1 day out a week, and it's absolute scenes. I mean,
it's a much better setup. I saw the darts was getting run.
I had to run them last night in darts. You know the deal. I mean, they can't touch me in darts. Listen.
Okay.
As an out of shape man, there's not many things I can do right, but darts is one of them.
It is a game that plays well into your athleticism.
Yes. Alcohol, booze, complaining about professional athletes.
You look like a bag of small, sweaty dicks.
Yeah, I look like a bag of dicks. It was absolutely horrific. My buddy Lance brings over these Jack Daniel shot shooter things, and he's like, "Here, take one." I'm like, no, I'm good. Then after I eat, I'm like, all right, I'll do one. The wife was out, right? I was, with the boys, Final Four.
It just
and then
who's got it better?
It's like, yeah, I'll do another one. Then I'm like 6 or 7 deep doing these Jack Daniel shots, and it was just. I got home. I was cross-eyed walking through the door. I was like, "Here we go. This is not good, not good." I'm still on the struggle bus. I mean, I got Aqueduct going. You see, I got my coffee here. It is brutal today.
Well, it's good you bring up Aqueduct because on the show we previewed the Florida Derby. Both of us agreed, and unfortunately the folks didn't get to hear this. Both of us agreed Forte wins. I had Mage underneath. Real big exacta, $2 get you 8. Real big exacta. But in the Arkansas Derby, I like the Angel of Empire to win. Wins for fun. It's almost like the name was Secretariat.
He romped. I mean, what a move. I mean, he raced phenomenal.
How'd the horse you pick finish?
I Rocket. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to the mod horse. I don't know. Maybe he bled, something like that. I mean, that's the thing now with not being able to use the Lasix in these races. You never know. He raced like he bled the way he stopped turning for home, but he was terrible in that race. I'll I'll be interested to see over the next couple of weeks what happens if they still point him towards the Derby or maybe not. Maybe he's going to be off the trail. Maybe he got hurt. I don't know. But that was a pretty disappointing effort from him. But yeah, what a performance by the Cox horse. And I tell you, I ruffled a few feathers today on Twitter. But the race with Forte in the Florida Derby, I completely understand the horse race good. To me, I was just not blown away by the performance. I thought he was done turning for home. I thought Lady gathered up steam and he went and beat him. But I mean, that horse is coming out of breaking his maiden. I don't really, I don't know. It didn't blow me away where I just think this horse isn't, I don't know. Maybe he reminds me of 10 years ago when, what was the show horse? God, I can't think of his name. I was so against that horse the whole time, and he ended up winning, paid like $13. I'm going to look it up right now, but it reminds me of that year a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on one second. I got to look that up.
I'll just say for the folks,
it was in the mud.
Once again, you got to come to Stu for all your horse racing picks.
And the day after is what's the best. Orb. That was his name, Orb. I was the same way with him. I was against him the whole time. And then he ended up winning. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't know. I just wasn't, I wasn't blown away. It was a field of Monticello 5 Flamers. I mean, there wasn't much in there. Let's be honest. That race stunk. See, I know he raced good. I know the performance, but come on.
You did rub it in my face. A nice picture from the spot, the seat, the secret location at what a lot of people say the Vegas of the East Coast.
Oh,
freehold sport. I mean,
jam-packed yesterday, by the way. Jam-packed.
Hey, look, did you guys hit anything? Bombs Away was with you. And
Bombs Away did what he does. He was down early. He was getting grinded down, and then he ends up catching a 22-1 shot or 21-1 shot in that stakes race. And listen, that's what my father does. I mean, when a man takes you to the racetrack when you're 5 years old, and he brings you around the horses he has, and, you might become a sick degenerate gambler like myself. That's what happened. But yesterday was a day out like old times. He was out and about, the old man, and it was a great Saturday. I mean, freehold, gambling.
Who's got it better? Now, I wish you would have told me. I would have driven up for that.
Yeah, I know you would. They were asking for you. They said, "Where's that guy that hit that pick 4 the Saturday before the Super Bowl?" I said, "They had to send him to Virginia."
The $2 pick 4, I took down the whole pool.
Yeah. There was like freehold Mongos looking for you for your picks. You could probably sell tip sheets there. Let me tell you, it was so funny when we're coming up that escalator to heaven. When you're down below and you come up to the grandstand of freehold, they had these 2 little things that said "Happy Easter." It looked like the most depressing signs you had ever seen. It looked like they were from.
So freehold has some severe high school from 1993 vibes. Okay, it's got some vibes to it.
Yeah,
I love it. You can just smell the probation officer slash pawnbroker in the building. I mean,
a lot of dreams have died in that place. You know what I mean? A lot of dreams.
Salt of the earth, though. Salt of the earth. I mean,
the best of the best.
You ain't gonna get any better. Let's get into it because a lot of stuff we talked about it. Some of it's played out last week, into this weekend. Let's start with this Final Four. I mean, San Diego State onions at the end of the game. They erase a big deficit. They were down by like 13 at one point.
Yeah, they were struggling early. Nice comeback. But I'll tell you what, late in that game, I thought they were shooting themselves in the foot. They should have been up 4 or 5 at the. How many foul shots are you going to miss? Yeah. They were atrocious from the free throw
line. And once again, I hate to say it, UConn just absolutely bludgeoned Miami. And Miami, if they can't hit their jumpers, they're dead in the water.
Yeah, there was nothing they could do. Listen, UConn almost reminds me last year when the Phillies went to the World Series with the Astros. Like they're a little bit like the Astros to me, where I hate them. Obviously, I don't like them, but like you can just clearly tell they're the best team. I mean, they're head and shoulders above. Miami wasn't hitting their shots last night. I thought Miami a little bit tried to get the ball too much inside and tried to get cute. I think they're a good 3-point shooting team. I thought they should have just played their game. I thought maybe UConn took them out of their game a little bit, but I thought they were dominated down low. They did not do a good job. Shooting, obviously, they were terrible. They were getting out rebounded to death. I mean, they had no chance in that department. That was a game to me that was over at the end of the first half. Connecticut hit that 3 right before the buzzer at the half. Say la vie, you could have turned the TV off right there. It was lights out. It was over. There was no chance in them coming back. That's why I told Stu, send me your hat order, you rat bastard. You're obviously going to cover. When I knew it when Bombs Away told me yesterday, he hates UConn more than anybody. And he's like, oh, there's no way they're losing. I was like, oh, I'm going to lay the 5.5 with Miami. He's like, that's dumb.
Well, no, because the numbers and, maybe did you tell Bob?
Well,
did you tell Bob? Were you like, hey, I don't know if you know this. You don't know betting because clearly the sharp money's on Miami. Did you give him that speech?
He would have told me to shut up, and I barely got out of high school. So, just shut up and drive the car, right? You know what I mean? I mean, you're not talking to somebody. I'm a savant when it comes to, I could read a racing form at 10 years old, right? You want to give me horse charts? Years ago, the old Harness Racing paper, the Sports Eye, I could break down the charts, the racing. But when it came to school or anything like that, this is not a guy you want to take advice from. This is tough scenes. Barely got out of school.
More news at 11 for you folks. But yeah, I think UConn just takes out San Diego State. I'll lay the points.
Yeah, no way. I'd be surprised if San Diego State's within 15 with about 8 minutes left. To me, this just has blowout written all over it. I don't know. I'll say this. I don't think San Diego State, and obviously they didn't play their best game. Maybe they still have one more of these dream games in them, but UConn just looks too good.
UConn -7.5 and the over under 132. I'll take the under.
It almost feels like a game where maybe it's a backdoor cover. I think that's the only way that it happens late in the game. UConn's maybe putting in seniors or putting in guys that, were on the team all year and he wants to get a little playing time too in the spot. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I just, the 7.5 seems easy to me. But, and let's get into this. We're starting this fucking game at 9:20. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
It's brutal.
Obviously.
It's the same thing with the national championship game. You play it on a Monday and kickoffs at 8:30. It's like, Jesus, guys,
It's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I fully expect this to be the lowest watched finals game.
Oh, yeah. But, you're trying to, I think a lot of more young people will get into the college sports and being a fan with the gambling. And because it's usually standalone, like college basketball is usually not a lot in its way, especially when it comes down into March. There's really not much going on but you're trying to get younger fans involved. The NBA is obviously way more popular. Now, me and you feel this way. The college game is so much better. I don't even watch the NBA.
I can't watch the NBA.
Awful sport.
I don't touch it. Except to bet against the Pistons, who are, to steal a phrase from you, AIDS.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, it's just to start a game like that. It's terrible. Kids don't get to watch it. Old Mongos like me, you have to get up at 4 a.m. I'm not going to watch it. It sucks.
Yeah, college football, college basketball, much better than their counterparts on my end. You're a sicko. You love NFL because your college team has opted out. You root for FCS schools,
It's not easy. It's not easy. To be a sports fan in the path that I've chosen in life is you just got to think to yourself, do you like to put your balls in a vice clamp? It's basically what it is.
Some people like that. Some people like that.
Some people enjoy it. I enjoy gardening. I don't,
Yeah, and speaking of which, we're talking sports here, but
sports are dead. They're dead.
Yeah.
Baseball hasn't started yet. Has baseball started for you?
I recall last week when we were talking, I was watching some team from Philadelphia play a Texas team, and Texas scored I don't know, 9 runs, a dozen runs in the 6th inning. Is that good?
Yeah, 16 yesterday. They spent more money on this bullpen this offseason. They all
Hey,
look
how's Gregory
atrocious.
Soto working out?
Awful, a typical
Oh, you
typical
hate to see it.
Philadelphia fashion. I'm gonna put him right on par right now. He's got like an Adam Eaton way about him, where I don't know, relief pitchers come to Philadelphia and they just I'm retired. I'm just gonna walk the park, give up home runs. Typical Philly start. I said it a couple weeks ago, which maybe it's a good sign. Every time the Phillies start atrociously in April, they make huge runs. They used to do it in their heyday a little bit. They used to always get off to bad starts, and we're here again. They look absolutely atrocious. I've already announced them dead on Twitter after the 0-2 start.
Oh,
I'll see you in 24.
Pureades done.
Awful. They stink.
Okay, good.
Who even
Good.
enjoys baseball?
You'd have to be a special breed.
Yeah.
On my end, I'm loving the start of the season. Tigers picking up right where they left off. Bet against them. They're going to lose 127 games. I can't wait. Setting records over in Titletown.
Yeah.
And the Orioles, I have no idea what happened yesterday. They get a pop out to end the game. Left fielder drops the ball. 2 outs, would have been the 3rd out, drops the ball. Next batter up, home run into the monster.
Nice.
Yeah, real great.
Can I top that? The Phillies have lost 13 games in a row to the Texas Rangers. Let me repeat that. 13 games in a row to the Texas Rangers.
That's tough to do. Well, something to key in on because that game hasn't started yet, right? So
it's an ESPN standalone game. Wonderful.
Oh, Sunday Night Baseball. Well, I guess
I'll be in bed in the 3rd inning. They stink.
I know what bet I'm making on that game.
Yeah, the over.
Yeah, the over and the Rangers.
And the Rangers. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, so baseball's off, hot start. Talk the ponies, talk a little college basketball. You're hungover, but I know you're still doing work on the draft. What are you doing on the draft today? What are you looking at? Because the book has got to be filled out.
We're getting close to the end of the book. Here's the book. The book has about 200 something pages. I still got a decent amount of work to do. I tried to save one of my favorite positions for last. Defensive end, defensive tackle is one of my favorite positions. Today I was going through, we were laughing, Stu and I, before the show, the Northwestern. You think I'm going to pronounce that name? You're out of your fucking mind. No shot. I got no shot at that name. Which would be hilarious if he gets drafted by the Eagles. Can you imagine like South Philly drunk Mongos yelling this guy's fucking name?
Edowomaye.
Yeah. Not blown away, but one thing with this draft, and we're going to have some people coming up in the next couple of weeks for draft content. And, I'm a sicko. I live it 24/7, love doing it. Yeah. Pay attention. The Senior Bowl is a huge thing. The Senior Bowl to me, bigger than the Combine. Even the pro days, which
By the way, speaking of which,
go ahead.
Senior Bowl, we need to get down there next year.
Yeah,
I think so. Bobcats got, because they do it down in Alabama. Alabama's greatest state of the union, idiot. I think me and you might have to go down there. Bobcat's got some.
He's got to hook us up with some credentials.
Well, he's got a hookup down there. I think the Rob Stu show might make an appearance at the Senior Bowl next year.
Listen, I'll try barbecue sauce on spaghetti for a couple of days. I don't mind.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a delicacy down there. You should hope. I mean,
do they have airplanes in Alabama or?
Have you ever been to the Wright Brothers Museum in Ohio? Yeah, something similar to that. They have.
Here's what we'll do: we'll claim a horse at a freehold.
That.
We'll claim a horse at a freehold, and we'll just take them down there.
Oh, I mean, that's like bringing Secretariat to Belterra Park. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it would be really cool to go down there. But this guy started to really flash in the Senior Bowl. I was watching him today here and there. These defensive end prospects this year are decent. I do like them. obviously there's the top guys. It's amazing. I was already arguing with idiots on Eagles Twitter. They already hate Lucas Van Ness. Everybody hates Van Ness. Why?
There's some tape there. There's some tape there of him absolutely destroying Skorupski.
Yeah, he's got flashes. He only played 1
the
year on the
Northwestern
outside.
tackle that I think is probably going to go in the first round, but you got some tape of him just absolutely bull rushing him. I think the drawback with Van Ness is that he was interchanged. He didn't start.
No,
he played a lot of snaps, but he didn't start.
No, he didn't start. I mean that's a big thing, right? And it's such a hard thing with the draft as far as, are you drafting these guys? Most of the time you're drafting them what you think they can become, not what they already did in school. Like Derek Barnett was a clear case, set all kind of records at Tennessee, had to get off, had to bend. But in the NFL now, he's just been he's a guy. He's not a terrible player. He's not a great player. He's an in-between player. He's not a guy you would take again at 15, And a lot of people feel that way on Van Ness. See, I like the upside. I like he's only played 1 year on the outside. Iowa plays that 5-3. They're not a big attack all the time at the line. They kind of like to sit back. They play a little mix scheme behind. They're a good, solid defense. I like the way he plays against the run. People say, well, you don't draft somebody in the top 10 because they play well against the run. Well, guess what? We lost the Super Bowl because guys couldn't tackle on the front end and couldn't stop against the run. But to me, you got to play the run. Okay, I understand everybody wants to get to the quarterback. That's fine. That's who gets the top dollar. But to me, Van Ness almost has that appeal of a guy who has that upside. Some of these other guys, like a Miles Murphy. I like Miles Murphy. He's got a real nice get off. I think he's a good player. I think he's a Derek Barnett to me. Does have a lot of production. But I think you're seeing his ceiling. Like that's what he's going to be at the next level. I like guys sometimes that they might not show everything they have in college, but you can work with them and they can get a little better. But he's an interesting player. Will Anderson's an interesting player. I text Bobcat the other day. I got a 50-page essay because, and they're saying this about Will Anderson. He's a good player, but everybody already has him marked as a great player. I don't know. I think he's solid, but I don't know.
The production senior year did not match the production output in junior year, and I know that there's some stuff behind the scenes that we're privy to that might explain some of that and what have you, but I would say, from talent alone and at his position, it's a high value position. You got to take him early, right?
Yeah,
he will be productive in the NFL. I kind of look at Aiden Hutchinson the same way. Aiden Hutchinson is limited. He's also a Nazi, confirmed. But he's very talented, and he just has a good motor, right? He can get blown out of plays, and he will.
Mm-hmm.
But he can also make some plays.
Yeah, no, he's a guy. He's a guy.
He's a solid defensive end, and I think that's what Will Anderson will be.
But even as good as even Hutchinson had the good year, you're still, if you're a Lions fan this year, you want to add that other piece, right? You want to put somebody on that defensive line where he can go hunting now, and he's not.
Well, realistically, I think Jalen Carter's to play. I think you have to get Jalen Carter.
Absolutely.
If you're not going Jalen Carter at 5, you will have a hard time selling me on who is worth that number 5 pick. And I
probably
swear to
Tyree
God,
Wilson, or maybe they go cornerback and you just break everything in your room.
Oh, it will be a massacre.
Which
I almost send you a Lions hat, but I can't do it because I can't wear any Lions gear until they start doing smart things.
I really love Christian Gonzalez in this draft. We're gonna get
and I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I like him.
The intangibles are there. Now, I agree with you that I like him more than Witherspoon from Illinois. Pretty much based on exactly what you've said the past few weeks. But you know me. If you got a pick in the top 10, and Philly's a special case. Philly is a special case, so I'm leaving them out this year. But realistically, you need, if you're in a rebuilding mode and you didn't luck into a high draft pick on a good trade and you got a good team, then all bets are off. Take best available and you're shoring up a position. But if you're rebuilding, it starts on the lines and it starts at quarterback. Offensive line, D-line, quarterback. If you're not doing something there in a regular draft, you're missing the mark. Like I see the lines getting pegged with Mayer, the tight end out of Notre Dame, and for what? Why?
I could see that. I like
there's teams that are highly successful without super stud tight ends, right?
But it adds another dynamic. I think Goff
adds another dynamic.
Really benefits from those seam throws.
If he can't block,
play action.
If he can't block at the NFL,
get that out of your head with the block. Nobody cares. They don't block anymore. The tight ends in this league. Do you care if Dallas Goedert blocks? No.
Yeah.
Do you care if George
no, because
blocks?
he's not.
No.
He is. So Goddard is used as
he can
mainly
actually
a
block,
pass catcher.
Which is, but he can actually block though.
Okay, he can block. But here's the thing. You look at a Mike Gesicki, you look at a Dalton Schultz. These guys are wide receivers that play tight end. They can chip a guy, but that's all they're going to do. It's going to hurt
Waller,
your run game.
He's like a wide receiver.
And I think the NFL is coming more back down to you have to have an integrated run game to be successful.
But the Lions have that. The Lions have a top offensive line.
They have a top offensive line. If you have a tight end that can block and catch passes, you can maybe sell me on that. I'm not really sold on Mayer being that.
But you got to, in this draft, Mayer's a top 20 player, in my opinion. I like.
Yeah, I think it's very. Once you get past like the first 6-7 picks, I think it's very mediocre and very
That Notre Dame
kind of slides.
That Notre Dame offense was garbage last year.
Yeah,
he's a good player. I like him.
And who are you playing? Cal? You're playing Navy?
Yeah.
Bums. Navy bums.
Tulane.
Oh, how dare you talk about the Green Wave? This is a Green Wave show, brother.
Yeah, they had a good season.
You're going to learn come college football time. This is a Green Wave show. By the way, speaking of which, Tyjae Spears, if somebody doesn't draft him in the late second round, early third, I'd be surprised. That's a guy I think that could really get drafted out of position. You go back and watch his film. He is dynamic. He has speed. He has vision. I know it when you're playing, Southern Miss and I don't know, SMU.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yes.
You're not going to get it, but you're not going to see it as much. But when you watch him run, and he's a pass catcher, I think this draft is really interesting at running back because you got a lot of guys that can catch passes.
Cool. You know what? We're going to get to this on later shows too. This is a phenomenal running back draft. There are so many guys, leading it off with Bijan,
Bijan.
Yeah, Bijan. I'm hungover. Mel Kiper has said, and really McShay stuck to this point, that he thinks he's more talented than Barkley because everybody thought Barkley's one knock at Penn State was he dances too much. I mean, Barkley was a special player at Penn State, even though I hate their guts. I'm not going to say he wasn't. The only question I have with Robinson, it's not so much of a question, is the Big 12 is complete AIDS when it comes to playing defense. Nobody in that conference outside of Baylor plays defense. So that's the one thing that kind of, with Robinson, but, people have Robinson right now as the 7th best player in this draft. I've seen some as high as 4th best player. Not even ranking
a little
position.
bit of a weaker draft. I think
it is. Yeah.
Bijan's going to be good. Jahmyr Gibbs will be good, depending on what offense he gets plugged into. There's a lot of guys. You could go all the way down to Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet could serve a role.
Oh, right? I have a Mongo in my Eagles group chat, Judd, an Asian fella from the West Coast. He is a diehard UCLA fan. He tells me
he's one of the 17 diehard UCLA fans.
Yeah, he's one of the 17. He tells me this guy is the best running back in this draft. He says take him in the first round.
Yeah, Dorian Robinson, DTR. Yeah, he's
I might have to get you in this group chat. He's on a full attack against me because I said DTR stinks. He thinks DTR is going to be a quarterback in the NFL.
yeah.
I told him not a fucking chance.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
What are your thoughts on DTR?
He plays in a league that does not value the pass or defense. It's predicated on offense. I think Chip has gone out there. Shout out Chip Kelly. No free shout outs, but Chip Kelly has gone out there.
Fuck you, Chip.
And he's molded the offense to fit his needs. I'll say this: there's a big difference between playing Arizona State and Wisconsin, and we'll see that difference very soon, right?
That's right.
We'll see that difference very soon.
Welcome to 13-9, my friend.
Welcome to
13 punts in a game. Your thoughts?
Welcome to 8 o'clock at Camp Randall. Enjoy that. Well, do you know where Iowa's on the map? You will soon. Get excited. But, UCLA, they got Dante Moore. Dante Moore's somewhat in the DTR mold, although a better passer, kid coming from Michigan, one of the top quarterbacks in the country. He's going to UCLA. I think UCLA's building. It's just a problem of, I'd like to see how they translate what they do to the Big Ten.
This is big boy football now. I mean, you're going to get.
It's a different brand of football with a higher emphasis on defense. And even though the offenses are to a certain extent anemic and atrocious,
that's putting it nicely. That's the nicest thing you've ever said.
Like, look, Rutgers could play at home against UCLA and really jack them up, stifle them defensively, and grind them down Rutgers' way. Shout out to the Knights, baby. And
a 6-0 crisp victory.
Oh, well, I won't go that far. They still probably lose by 17, but they could really grind it down and make it harder.
I hope John's listening.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see John when we go to the Michigan State game.
A long time my dad's had those seats, and this year we're moving up top. Usually we were 5 rows behind the bench.
We're going up top. Oh no,
we're going up top. It's quicker to the beer line. So
good.
Because once you get in that place, you better start drinking. and I'm talking cyanide. I'm talking powerful stuff, bleach. I'm not talking regular alcohol.
We got a nice 12-year-old bourbon, aged. It comes with cyanide in it. There you go. As we're wrapping up here, I do gotta ask you. I hit you up yesterday. You went to a card show in New Jersey, and folks, by the way, we love sports cards, we love memorabilia and all that good stuff. So we're gonna have people periodically on this show coming in, and we're gonna be nerds talking about pictures of male athletes on cardboard, and we're gonna get after it. But what'd you see, man?
There was some really nice stuff, man. There was one piece that was incredible. Maybe I'll put it out on Twitter when we put out the show on Monday. It was a Josh Allen. It had his 2 pictures on each side, his jersey, and a video thing, his highlights in the memorabilia. It was really cool looking. It was like $1,500, but some great pieces, some great cards. I'm a ticket mongo too. I was looking at they had a lot of Mets and Yankee stuff. Obviously, it was a New Jersey show. Ton of Pittsburgh mongos. Palomalu was signing there. Jersey Jerry was there.
Jersey Jerry, shout out.
49ers mongos everywhere for Bosa. They had some really cool stuff. Yeah, I was looking at the tickets yesterday. Incredible, man. The 69 World Series with the Mets. There were some tickets for Shea for $3 on the face. They had them in glass cases. The helmets have just gotten incredible at these shows still. I mean, the helmets yesterday with the designs, I mean, but you're talking upwards of 2,500 to $3,000 for some.
This
Um,
Joey Burrow helmet is like 2 Gs.
Oh, easily. And that's a beautiful helmet. That
Oh, it's
LSU
gorgeous.
pops.
Oh, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah. They added some real nice Derrick Henry stuff. I was going to send some pictures to Bobcat. They had a lot of.
Well, for Bobcat's purposes, I'm happy you didn't, because he would have been like, "You better buy it right now.
You better get that. You better get that." They had
Make
a lot
sure you
of great.
pour some ketchup on it."
They had an awesome Goodfellas piece with the gun that he hits the neighbor with in the head,
Like the real gun, the real
cast.
prop.
I don't know if it was a real gun, but it was really cool. The frame that they had.
It was a real prop. I imagine it wasn't a real gun.
Yeah, you never know.
Alec Baldwin style.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it was a phenomenal. It was huge, man. I mean, they had a Kobe Bryant jersey there signed for $6,000. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great cards I was going through. I'm more of a memorabilia guy than I am cards, but ended up picking up a nice AJ Brown piece for the basement. My wife gave me a dirty look when she came home, so she probably won't be too happy about that.
Did Bob come away with? Did Bombs Away come with anything?
Oh no, Bob.
Oh, he was just saving all his money for free.
He's not allowed to have anything in that house. No, my mother is. You're not hanging anything sports related anywhere. Yeah, nothing.
Oh, and now we know what it was like in Auschwitz.
Right? Oh yeah.
I mean, that's just brutal. Can't even hang a picture of Donovan McNabb in the house.
Like, thank God for my wife. Like, our house is totally normal besides my basement. But like, if I was just alone or a bachelor or anything, it would legit look like an Eagles pro shop. I mean, you'd have Seth Joyner signs everywhere.
You really need to talk to someone.
A Clyde Simmons mantle, or something crazy.
Irving Fryer, greatest of all time. Your thoughts?
And Andre Waters, rest in peace, cardboard cutout that I eat dinner with every night.
That would really be a nice piece to your man cave.
It would. We would talk Buddy Ryan every night.
One-way conversations.
That's right.
Roberto, do we got anything lined up for this week? I know we owe the people a few shows here. We're
trying to get an MLB gambling guy on, so I'm trying to hit him up, even though I don't particularly care for MLB. We're going to try to get a guy on for that. We're going to be having some draft people coming on. Stu is some would say the most popular person in horse racing Twitter. So we're going to get some big Mongos on for Keeneland's going to have some big cards. The Bluegrass is coming up. The Wood Memorial's coming up. Big weeks for horse racing. And then that's going to lead into the draft.
We got to get Mike Maloney in here. We got to get PTF
Keeneland starting. We're going to be a little bit more than a month away from the Derby. I mean, just an awesome time of year. MLB's rolling, horse racing starting to pump up towards the Derby, the NFL draft. I'm thriving right now. It's going to get a little.
What's difficult though? What's difficult about all of this is sports are dead. Sports are dead to us.
Yeah, no, I'm doing this for the people on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing it for folks.
Once this goes down, I got apricots baking in here. I'm doing a quiche bread egg mix thing. So Julia.
No. I'm really excited. We've also got a guy lined up to talk about mulch. Yeah.
Darker.
What's the kind of mulch that you need for a flower bed?
Mm-hmm. Japanese maples for the front yard on the next Rob Stu show.
Who's got it better? I mean, this is what you come to. This is what you come to us for. Folks, thank you. Like and subscribe. Rob Stu show. RR Eagles. What is your handle? RR Eagles
20?
13, 20, 70. Yeah.
Greatest safety ever. Just,
Len Dawkins?
You son of a bitch.
Okay. My bad. We'll fix that on the next time at StuCast Sports. Check us out. Hook up the show. Give us that like, that subscribe. So until next time, take care, brush your hair, and we'll talk to you after a while.